Okay, I'm just making a quick video to show something. There was a couple times when I was using this app, I forgot to update some changes. So what would happen, my microphone, in particular my microphone, it would not reverse back to mic USB, but stayed in USB mode or accessory, depending on what I'm using. In this case, I think it's USB. What happens is when I go on DStar, I can transmit, but no audio. And I'm going to demonstrate that on Simplex with another radio, but I thought I'd make a quick recording. So if you're using an app to control your radio, be sure to set it up so that when you quit the app, it switches back to mic or USB. What other option did I have here? Just mic. I'll leave it like that. So anyways, otherwise you'll have to go in every time and manually make the change. I have to say, the Icom 7300, I use it for HF. Right now it's on FT8. I like it for testing what the propagation is like, and also adjustments on the antennas. And I know I'm running low power. Yeah, okay, just verified. And this is the 703, which I'm going to use with this radio to demonstrate some other issues that I came across that would affect not being received, not being heard, or even transmitting there. Okay, now let me get back. I have to say, this RS-MS3i, it's a great little program. I can hook up the Icom 705 or the handheld, and very quick. If I want to change the domain number, it works. I just updated my system there to the latest operating. Even this iPad had a security update, so 17.4. When I first fired up, I thought let me turn down the volume on that. Yeah. I thought for a moment I had a problem. Again, I was using my ID-52 because I'm programming and all that stuff. It switched over to USB. Oh yes, because I was using Intel and directly cloning and reading and writing, which I had to USB and forgot to put it back to Bluetooth. So little things like that. It's easy to forget. It's almost like a to-do list you have to do. Okay, let me demonstrate another settings that you may want to take concern with. And I'm just going to show you now. You gotta go to Menu, Setting, Connectors, Mod Input. If I, for example, switch to USB, now you won't hear anything, even though I am transmitting. Okay, let me do this again. And I'll switch back to the mic USB. Testing 1, 2. So depending on what you're using, a remote app, or if you're connecting to one of the Icom software via USB, you have to remember to change your settings. So I would say that's some of the one configuration that you could end up having no problem hearing the repeater come on, but your audio doesn't get through. Now there's a few other things that will affect receiving. This is my database, which I use to program the radio. I have to say the Icom 52 and the 705 software, which I use on Windows 10, I mean, it works. I even did a read and write direct to my radio using the USB. Haven't tried Bluetooth yet on it, or Wi-Fi, but not even sure if it supports it yet. I'll deal with that on another video because it's very handy for several things. Anyways, my database is great. Basically, I take care of the repeater lists that I want for both radios. And the third one, I'm still thinking of either the 5100 or the new black version of the 2730. For mobile, I don't think I'll need DStar, at least in the areas I'm going to be traveling with it. But we'll see. In fact, I gave myself 2 repeater lists if I want to try different settings. And then this is the Icom 705, and this is the way it looks. Let's go to the 5200 and go to the gateway. Now, you need to enter your call sign. When you want to talk to anyone like CQ, then that's where you would put in your call sign. And for repeat 1, you would put the call sign of the repeater and plus the gate. If it's either B or C, usually a B will indicate it's UHF, a C is VHF. But that standard may not be followed. But that's the general rule. So the repeater call sign, I know the first one on the list is a C, so it must be VHF. And then you enter a G for gateway. A space in between the repeater call sign and the letter. Now, I haven't had time to test the echo info on leak command, but I have it programmed so you have 7 spaces before the E, 7 spaces before the I, and 7 spaces before the U. I have not verified if the radio will take care of that or not. I'm assuming it doesn't, so there's something to check. And let me just show you a video of how to check it on your radio. Okay, I'm trying to hold this with my iPhone. You go to menu number 2, CS. And I know this works because I finished talking not too long ago with someone. There you go. CQ, RPT, B because it's on UHF, and G. That will allow you to go through the repeater on DStar. And of course, your call sign. And you have provisions up to 4 characters. It could be a name, location, or even the radio that you're using. In my case, I have the 705 when I'm using 705, and I have the 52 plus on the Icom 52 plus. Okay. Okay, on the handheld, the ID-52 plus, hit menu, go to settings, scroll up to call sign, and that's the setup. Now, if it's not entered properly, you're going to have issues getting in. There's also another thing which I was surprised to find out, someone having DStar capabilities never was able to get it to work or find some help. And the problem was it wasn't registered. In other words, you have to register your call sign with DStar or whatever other mode, whether it be Fusion or DMR, things of that sort. If you don't, you will not be allowed in. You will not get in, no matter what you do. I guess it helps with unauthorized people, not hams, using the equipment, because they could hide behind the digital a little bit, I guess, fake call signs, stuff like that. So if you're having problems getting in, no matter what you do, verify that you have registered your call sign. In my case, with DStar. Plus, keep in mind, if you have more than one DStar radio, then you'll need to create a second terminal. I guess maybe that's the term to use. I have 3 and I'm planning a 4th one, so basically I have the last 4 letters of the alphabet registered so I can use those. There's very limited people that locally probably could help individuals get into it. So I understand why some of this happens. So hopefully this will answer some of the questions. Well, another thing I should make note, that information will not appear unless you're on a frequency. If I switch frequencies and none of this is programmed in the memory, then you will not see much details. So pick the frequency of the repeater you want to get through, and then you can check to see the format that it's correct. Okay. Hopefully I'm not shaking too much. There's another area that surprised me. This happened with my Icom ID-52 Plus. But I can demo it a little bit here on the 705 because of the bigger screen. I did a reset on my handheld, fresh start. I like to do that and then load up all the stuff that I have saved, other than the settings file. And then something didn't work. I was puzzled. And you know what it was? Apparently, when I cleared and reset it, this is the default. So I go to menu, go to settings, I go to connectors, CIV. CIV transceive was off. So if you ever do a reset, it'll be off. So you need it on. A lot of little small things. Hopefully, here's another one. I was having a chat with someone on DStar, and every once in a while, a little bit of noise came in, breaking up the audio. And so I went and put on the other radio just to see what could happen. And this is where I noticed that when I had this option set, let me go to menu, settings, DV set, DV auto detect. I guess there was a weak FM signal, and so what would happen, it would switch back and forth, trying to lock in. So I basically turned it off, and it was gone. So if you notice some noise coming in through on your conversations and you're wondering where it's coming from, verify that your DV auto detect is off. I think for most of the time that's a proper setting. Okay. And it's actually the same setting on the Icom ID-52. Go to DV setting, DV detect. I have it on because I was testing it. There you go. Now it's off. I kind of like the menu setup on this. It's way better than even the 705. Not perfect. There's a few things I can be critical about, but while the radios I had, I am impressed. Okay, some good news. I've updated to the latest Sequoia. I think it's 15.3. Prior to that, I had a little bit of issues with the radio talking. So I'm connected to my Icom ID-52 using my MacBook laptop, which is an M1 chip, Sequoia 15.3. It's a release. It's not the final version. And anyways, as you can see, I'm connected, made a transmission. Some people are having problems, and let me explain why. I guess I need a whole bunch of tripods or something, a couple of cameras. Anyways, if you're going to use terminal mode and the Icom software, there is conditions, settings that you have to do. Let me just exit out here for a minute, go to normal mode. And then I'm just gonna, okay. Before you even attempt to run the software and connect, the first thing you should do, you go to menu, you go to Digital Voice Gateway, and you need to select Bluetooth if you're using Bluetooth or USB. If you don't, even though you're in terminal mode, you're going to have problems. Okay, this has to be done. And then you need to go to terminal mode. I even make a point of going in and entering the address, direct input. Okay, and this, as you see that, it's all set up. And only then do I go to the software, select the unit. I have the right IP address, which I will show on the other one again. And very quickly, it connects to Bluetooth, and it should very quickly hear the radio when it attempts to talk. If it's taking a long time, that's an indication you probably have it in USB when you're in terminal, when you're in Bluetooth, and vice versa. So I find that if you don't follow this procedure, you end up going through a little bit of hassle. There's one thing I should mention in case someone's not aware. The Icom IC-705 can go terminal mode, and you don't need no software or some other device. So basically, what you got to do is your gateway select, which I'm using Wi-Fi, which connects to my internet. And it's also important too that you have a port 4000, I believe it is, enabled. Internet gateway settings, the IP that I mentioned to you earlier, you can enter it right here. The only disadvantage with this, you can't copy and paste. You have to enter it every time you switch. But if you are only going to one or two, then it's not a problem. UDP hole punch. I have it on even though I have the port set for 4000 on my system. That's it. So that's what I used for a while for terminal mode. One more. This is a surprise. Must be a misunderstanding or something like that. There's an option in the settings. It's called DSQL, which I assume is squelch, the digital voice squelch. If you were to enter DSQL, you will not be able to hear nothing unless the person you're talking to has your call sign. So it's really a one-person communication. I was surprised to find that when I downloaded some of the repeater information, the desquelch was in there, even though it was not used. So I deleted it. If you were to check the menu, do not use the digital call sign squelch function when communicating with two or more stations, because it opens only when receiving a signal addressed to your call sign. Therefore, the function can be used when communicating with only one station. Okay, there we go. I guess it happens when oh yes, I had it turned off. Yep. There you go. And let's quit. So what I did is I basically cleared it all. I probably don't want to talk to a repeater that has a desquelch anyways, so why is it there? Well, I guess it's a private repeater, and so it's no use unless you're a member of that private repeater. So check that your DV squelch has nothing in it. Okay. I've disconnected or quit the app first. There's another thing, when you switch your radio from terminal back to normal, it's always good to quit. I find if you don't, and when you go to restart it, it seems to either ignore it, and you have to kind of restart it. So it's probably just a software quirk or something. What's nice about what I find handy when I want to switch server IP, I can do a copy and paste. The ones I like to work, I go into Safari and I basically do a copy and paste on all these sites. Select that, I go to terminal mode, click on that, do a paste. You can't do this while you're in active mode. In other words, once you hit the start. Once you made the changes, whatever settings you want, then you hit start. There you go. And if I make a transmission identifying myself, hopefully any doesn't mind, VA6ALY testing. There you go. Gives you the information. If you failed, it'll say failed. Didn't get through. So this works on my MacBook. It works on my iPad 17.4 or 17.3. And on my iPhone, the 18.3. I think is the latest on that. So if it doesn't, it's probably a sequence that you didn't follow. I find if I skip the proper sequence, I'm hassling it. And you know how easy and quick it was to connect. It should be that quick. Hopefully these ideas help. I know people have been asking me. I don't consider myself an expert because DStar, even though I had DStar equipment when it first came out, even the little dongles, which I still have, I never was near repeaters with DStar capabilities, even when I was mobile. So I didn't have an opportunity to test my thinking on it. And now that I have one, locally and through terminal mode, and still fine-tuning a few things. I think I could improve a little bit here and there, but that will come through experience. Would appreciate if you haven't subscribed to subscribe. I have a few more videos I'm planning on this system, and I do have some ice fishing we're planning to put up here again. So until next time, you can click to a reminder, a notification, so this way you don't have to keep checking. You'll get the notification. Have a nice day. Until next time, take care.